You look excited. I mean, but
You know, and it's our first shot at doing something like this, so you know what, it is what it is. Probably should have set it up sooner too, or maybe sent invites out sooner. There's been a guy, and I don't know, you know, who you follow or watch or anything on YouTube. A kind of new, a new YouTube channel, GloathTV.
it's
I
called
don't know
what
if you've
TV?
heard of them. Gloath,
Gloath? No,
G.
but I can check it out right now.
He actually just appealed to me because he joined like in February and he had like 200 subscribers already, and I was like, what is this guy doing? And he only has 4 videos up, and all he just keeps doing is he did a collaboration video with all of us, and he just had like people subscribe to one another or whatever. I mean, it's helped boost ours up a few notches, not, you know, maybe 3 or 4 a day, but we were lucky to get 3 or 4 a week. You know, being new, it's tough in the beginning.
Right, I agree. Like, it's starting off is the hardest thing because the stretch from 0 to 1,000 subscribers is no different than a higher channel going from like 100,000 to 200,000. It's like all like exponentially. So like the slope starts off so slow, but once you get going, you know, it's faster and faster. But yeah, this is the doozy, and this is actually where, you know, a lot of people give up too because they're not seeing, they're expecting like all this stuff to come in and all these subscribers, but it's like you have to fight because everyone's fighting for attention online. And until you get a solid base of those fans who are willing to share your content, then that's what's going to be the most difficult part is securing those people.
Right now, you just started back up again, right? How long were you doing it before?
So I've actually done 4 YouTube channels in the past. It's the thing is, I've always had to give it up and it sucks because, you know, this is something I really wanted to do, but either, you know, college got in the way or my first job got in the way, or life in general just got in the way.
Doing that.
But it's, you know, it's funny because I went to college and I got my job. I got a job. Actually, so I went to college for video production and web design. So
Okay.
I actually went full circle back to where I am now, if I think about it, because if I would have just stuck to my guns and what I was really passionate about to begin with, then I would be many steps ahead of where I am now. But I think because I took that journey, it helped me realize that this is, you know, something I definitely need to stick to. So here I am.
Okay. All right. And you just didn't go back to your old channels? You just started new ones?
Well, I mean, the old channels were with, you know, different people that I was with at that time in my life. So like high school friends, because when YouTube came out, I was in high school. So like what is this? And we see all these funny videos, so we wanted to make videos. So we made some, and then obviously we all graduated high school. Then I got back together with my friends a couple years later. And again, we revisited it and we tried some more videos. And then again, you know, everyone just moves in different directions. And for me, we were doing skits, and it's hard to do like comedy skits when you only have, you know, like one person. So I had to really restructure and rethink how I was going to go about doing this because the only person I could technically rely on was myself because I had the drive. Everyone else thought it was fun, but they didn't see it like I did. So that's why I think, you know, this time around, and again, I also tried in 2013, but I was just overwhelmed because I had my video job, so I would do, you know, video editing and video filming all day at work. When I got home, I'm like, I don't want to do video again. Because during the day, it's all boring stuff. Like I'm doing corporate stuff, like nothing entertaining. It's all, I don't know, all for the purpose of like marketing and other things. So yeah, I just wanted to, you know, take a stab at it again and just stick to it because that's really, I mean, if it's the one element to success for anyone is just sticking with it no matter how hard it gets or if you don't see the results that you want to see, you have no idea. Like, I mean, you could turn around, it's like a journey. You could turn around right before you get to this big hill, but what you don't know is on the other side of that hill. That last hill is actually where your success is at. So
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna keep chugging away and keep producing stuff. And for me, it's also like some people like to do it because the focus is on the money. Because later down the line, it can turn into something that supplements your income. But the thing is, you have to go into it first with the mindset of, I have to enjoy doing it. The money will come later. And a lot of people don't get that either. Because like for me, I don't think I'll monetize my videos for a while. Because I think what I want to do is build a fan base first, and then pursue the avenue once it's I feel comfortable enough to do it. Because for me, putting ads on a video right away, where I'm only going to get a couple of views, I don't want to deter my viewers any more than I'm already asking for their time to watch my video. And so that's kind of my thoughts on that. But
well, that's a great point, because that comes up a lot, and I often think about that. That monetization kind of, because do you really even make money anyway with monetization? Because AdSense pays so little that it's sometimes you like, is it even worth it? It's better to get to those 1,000 subscribers where you can actually do a brand, right? A brand deal or something later on down the line, which is kind of what we're going to look for in the future. Because listen, we consider ourselves the older couple on YouTube, right? You guys, you graduated high school in '06, and I have a son who's married and going to be 30 this year, so we're a different era. But at some point, we're going to retire, and we'd like to have some sort of income with this, something coming in, a little bit extra. I know it's never going to be a fortune. I mean, we're not going to be, those big guys like PewDiePie and the Shaytards and everybody else out there who makes millions of dollars a year.
Right, but I think what you have is you guys have a niche thing. Is for me, if a company wants to provide a product or service for someone who's not of my generation, who's of an older generation, then they're not even going to look towards me, because I have no influence over anyone who's older than me.
Right.
But in the same sense, it's like it's like me, as a video producer, like outside of YouTube. If I try to go into a manufacturing place, it's all older generation people. The people that make the decisions are all 45, 50, or older. I'm just a young guy. Like, they would just look over me in a heartbeat. And that's just the way it is, because like they're more comfortable. I mean, it's sort of like a weird thing where like a good chunk of the older generation fears technology, but the younger guys, like, it's a second language to us, because we're fortunate enough to be born with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very few people. I mean, like yourselves, you guys are obviously making it happen. So like, if it was a choice whether to align to either you or I, and if that person's in your demographic, they're going to go with you, because they're going to feel much more comfortable with you, especially if the product or service they are wanting to pitch aligns with what you guys are doing. A very homey setting. It's one of those things where it makes more sense to integrate a product or some kind of campaign with someone who aligns to the people that will actually use the product.
Right. So I see we have another joiner. Is that Hey, how are you?
Good, how you, man?
Good. Thanks for
I didn't want to
joining.
interrupt you guys. You guys are having a deep conversation there.
Yeah.
So why don't you kind of introduce yourself and kind of tell everybody what you're all about?
All right, so I come from GloathTV, and I just make YouTube videos on basically whatever people ask me to make. I just uploaded a video on how to get more subscribers. People were asking me to make that because I just started making videos 3 weeks ago, and I've already got 400 subscribers.
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. That's awesome.
Basically, whatever people ask me to make, I do, whatever that entails,
Cool. So I don't think would you guys want to do your introduction, or do you want me to go next? Or
No, go ahead. Go.
okay,
Absolutely.
so my name's Brad. I run a channel called SwankyBox. It's actually a channel I started back in 2013 when I had a job in video production and stuff like that, and it kind of fizzled out a little bit just because I was too busy. So now I'm kind of wanting to go back full force. I had, left my job in July to do various things. This is obviously one of them. My channel has, it's focused on gaming because like gaming was a big part of my life growing up because we grew up in the middle of nowhere. So it was just me and my brothers. And that's all we had because we couldn't go anywhere. Because the nearest town was like 10 so miles away. We couldn't drive. Obviously, my parents work, so it's either you go play in the yard or you can go have some kind of adventure. Because the games offered you an escape to some kind of world. Like it's someone's story, but it's like you can actually experience it and play it. So what I really wanted to do is touch on that stuff and focus on a lot of nostalgic gaming things, and also throw in a little bit mix of some fun skits and some other comedy elements. This is new for me because I'm actually what I do for a living is I'm actually a YouTube consultant. So I help companies and I help individuals and brands increase optimize their YouTube channel, increase views, and kind of get things getting exposure online. But the thing is doing all this video and things like that, I've never actually raised my own channel. It's always been helping someone else out and helping them grow, and then like it's like awesome. I'm glad you see the success. And like, oh wait, this isn't my thing. This is your thing. So like for me, it's about proving that I can also do this myself. So it's that's kind of a little bit of my channel, a little bit about me, and yeah, I'm just excited. I think it's an exciting time for everyone to get into YouTube. And even outside of YouTube, there's going to be, it's going to be a huge, and it currently is, there's a huge need for, video marketing and also like this kind of stuff, especially with Facebook's to be rolling out their video plans here pretty soon. And that, that might be a game changer for everyone because obviously we're all here on YouTube. But if Facebook rolls out their own compensation package for people producing videos on Facebook, that will literally change everything. Because I could make a video on YouTube, only get like, I'm a little guy, I'll get like maybe like 100 views. If I do the same thing, if someone does it on Facebook, it's going to be seen more often because Facebook videos are served up like 10 times more than YouTube videos are on people's feeds, and also like you have the instant ability to share within the platform itself. It's not like you're taking something from YouTube and sharing it on Facebook. Everything's within Facebook. So that's going to be pretty exciting because there's a problem right now with freebooting, which is people downloading on stuff we make on YouTube and putting it on Facebook as if it's their own. And that's a whole nother nightmare that needs to be addressed. But I kind of went on a tangent there. So yeah, what about you guys? What got you into YouTube?
Well, for us, or for me, for me myself, I didn't really even know or follow YouTube up until maybe a little bit about a year ago. It was just something I didn't realize what the platform really, didn't understand the platform. And I had downloaded some music on my iPod during the Christmas season last year, and all of a sudden I'm listening to a family opening Christmas presents, and I'm like, this isn't Christmas music. I just went in because I don't pay for my music.
Yeah.
I belong to something called Rocket Player or something like that, right? So I can go on there, and believe it or not, if you go on there, you can find your videos. And I didn't know that. I had no idea. I landed up downloading the Shaytards. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know who the Shaytards are.
Yeah.
But I started just kind of watching them and seeing how they were, working, and this Christmas rolled around, and I said, you know what, I want to do something like that. Now, of course, my youngest son is 16, so I don't really have little kids running around to kind of do the whole Christmas thing. So I started to experiment a little bit. So if you look at our first videos, you'll be laughing because they're so stupid. Mm-hmm. But then we got into, because Rob's a chef, and he loves to cook, and we used to have a place, so that's why we we decided we'd go the cooking route with putting some of his recipes up. In fact, we're thinking about doing a cookbook. That's another thing that we're going to integrate maybe into the business part of YouTube. Is, offer a cookbook, maybe put something out there free, but also then offer them, to purchase something. And we just do this little stint on the couch every now and again. We've been doing, just little current events or a little comedy. We're not comedians by any stretch of the imagination, but we think we're a funny old couple anyway. And we're just seeing where it goes. Like, I know it's kind of like two different directions. One's cooking and one's kind of just us here on the couch. And I even threw some vlogs in, during snow and stuff like that. I know. We're just so you guys know, we're in New York, so we got hit with a lot of snow. Well, actually, Gloath, I think you're in New York as well, except you got a lot more snow. You're in the way north. So that's our story.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched your cooking videos because I'm living on my own, so making my own food and everything. You want to change up the recipes and everything, so they've been helpful with that. So thanks for that. And Swanky, I wanted to ask you, what kind of gaming videos do you do? Like, what games? Because I don't make gaming videos, but I've always been interested in everything, so I played them when I was all the time too. So
a lot of the stuff I'm trying to focus on anything that came out before 2007. So like a lot of it ties into the childhood era for a lot of people who are playing games. There's a lot of people right now doing like let's play videos where they just play through games and stuff, and like YouTube is very oversaturated with that. I mean, you really have to consistently grind at it, but you have to add also an element to it that makes it more unique than anyone else's, because there's like a million people trying to do that. But for me, like I said, like games were always a nostalgia factor. So like the stuff I would focus on is like things for like Super Nintendo or N64, any of the PlayStations. But really, like I said, anything that came before 2007. So a lot of
Tony Hawk skating videos, because I was great at those.
Yeah. I played those.
I was great at those.
But that's exactly what it is, though, because like games like that, I would play that with my brother. Like, I mean, he picked. I think in the second one he would always play as Spider-Man. It was like he could use a cheat and you could be Spider-Man. It was really unfair because Spider-Man could just use his web to control his skateboard, like when you did a jump.
No fair.
But it's stuff like that. I mean, it's just I think as people are they have a lot of fun playing that stuff when they're younger, and then as they grow older, you don't forget about it, but you don't bring it up. So when you're watching something that touches on it, like the thing is, it's all about rekindling memories for people, because like obviously I'm sharing my story on it, but that story is empowering someone else to at least think about their past and then share their story. And I've had people send me messages about. I mean, honestly, I don't have a lot of subscribers. I don't have a lot of views, but I've gotten some pretty cool messages from people. And when someone takes the time to write 3, 4, 5 paragraphs to explain like what that game made them feel like as a kid, as an only child, like not having friends, like that is like. It's like I'm making more videos because like that's awesome that I can make someone happy. So that's why I'm focusing on a lot of the earlier.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim Schmoyer would love that statement if you know who he is. He's a video creator. He's a YouTube guy as well. And between him and Daryl Eves, I watch both of them because they give us a lot of tips on things like that. But he'll always say as long as you're doing something to help. And people laugh and say, well, how are we helping somebody? Well, listen, if we make somebody laugh, or we can, like, show you a recipe that you learn how to cook, hey, I think we're helping people. I think that's a good thing.
Definitely.
One of the people I actually did, have you guys heard of the nonprofit called Because I Said I Would?
No.
Yeah, Gotcha. So basically, it's a. I think I have him here. So this is one of the people I did YouTube videos for. What they do. So it's a nonprofit that actually started at the company that I started at, and they have these little cards. So all the card says on it is because I said it would. And what you do is you write a promise on it, and you give it to someone, and you earn that card back when you prove you're a person of your word. So with that said, like when I was helping him do videos, that was kind of really, honestly, really emotional because you produce a video. I mean, depending on what the video is, you get tons of responses back about people's personal stories and like, I mean, you get some sad stuff, and then on top of that, we decided to do a video series. So we filmed a video series, and it's just like all these stories about like people triumphing through like attempted suicide and like being bullied or like drug abuse and alcoholism and like and their triumphs and how they're using just these cards and proving their person their worth to get through those situations. Like those are probably the most rewarding videos I've ever done, and just knowing that like I'm just some guy cutting footage up behind a computer, but like to someone else that means the world to them. We did a video in 2013. It was actually my first viral video that I ever did. It was about a drunk driver called Matthew Cordell, and he was, I don't know if you saw it was all over the news for like 2 weeks, where this guy did a YouTube confession online that he killed someone. The video is called "I Killed a Man," if you want to look it up. And it's basically his lawyers were basically saying, hey, obviously you killed this guy, but that guy is someone's father. But hey, if you lie, we can get you out of this trial. And then that was like, what? Like this is someone's dad. I'm not going to lie about this. He had saw our message, and he reached out to the founder because I said I would, and I collaborated with him on producing a video. He wanted to do an online confession so that he could basically skip out on court. If he did this, they could basically indict him for that. Like he skips all the legal BS because he's confessing to the crime. Yeah, so it basically, that was his way of being a person of integrity, even though he did something really, really stupid. So yeah, he ended up getting the maximum sentence for drinking and driving, and that was even an emotional video to do because this guy is my age. Like knowing that like someone like me is going behind bars for the next decade, it gets you thinking. But I was really proud of the guy because of he stuck to his word and yeah, he took responsibility for what he did. But stuff like that, like I said, just kind of going back and the messages you get, and like knowing that you're helping people, even if you're just doing comedy or things like that, knowing you're bringing a moment to someone's day where they are happy, because you don't know if these people are going through high school and getting bullied. You don't know what they're dealing with at home. One video of you playing with cats and stuff like that is like, when they get home, it picks them up from the rough day they had, and they can smile for that night. So I think that's a big misunderstood part about YouTube as well, is what people actually are tuning in for. Is it for the entertainment value, or is it for is it an escape for people? And that's something I question all the time in terms of like what people use it for. But that's I kind of went on a tangent there, but
that's okay.
Kind of.
I guess that's where we kind of tear ourselves between. Is it more interesting for the cooking, or is it more interesting of when we just talk and and this too, and maybe you being on YouTube, 4 channels and how many years. Do you think they should be on the same channel? Like I often question that.
I think what's going to happen is obviously we're all still small. You're going to find, and I don't think right now it's an issue. You're going to find out what your people are coming there for. So, after a while, you're going to realize, like, oh, maybe we're getting more attention to these cooking videos, so you put more effort into the cooking videos. And then just let your channel evolve, because I think the biggest problem people make is they try going into it with a master plan of how everything's going to fall into place, but really it's all reactionary. Everything has to be reactionary because things are changing all the time. That Because I've said it would, channel and social movement and all that stuff, that whole thing's reactionary. The whole thing is based on people's feelings. Do you guys go on Reddit at all?
No, I don't.
Well, I mean, because for example, I'm pretty certain. So the guy who runs Because I Said It Would, he just understands people so well and helping and getting their messages out there and stuff like that. So he knows his audience and he knows all that stuff. So he's been on the front page of Reddit probably like, I don't know, 15 times, and that's a big deal. When you get on the front page of Reddit, that means the news is knocking at your door wanting to do an exclusive interview with you. And not just one news channel, it's like all over the place. And the way he is able to use that to help people share their stories, because most people don't have a voice, but he gives them the catalyst to do that.
What kind of platform is that? I'm not familiar with it at all. What kind of platform is that? Is that a video platform or?
Reddit is, they call it the front page of the internet. It's where people post links to specific things that they find interesting, and then it's pretty much up to the whim of the people on Reddit to deem if it's awesome or not. I mean, it's basically, if you guys heard of like a BuzzFeed or a Mashable, or it's like that, but it's not a business. It's solely, things make it to the front page by people collectively agreeing on it should be on the front page. So you give the option to give something a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
So it's like what's trending on Twitter.
Yeah. So it's like by an overwhelming amount of thumbs up, then you're gonna make it to the front page. So but really what it boils down to is it's your audience. So you have to listen to your audience, no matter what it is. Pay attention to all those those tools that Google gives you. And sure, your numbers may be small, but you'll be able to figure out oh, these cooking videos, people are watching 75% of the way through, whereas our talking videos, maybe we're losing them 25% of the way through. It's well, that means they're more engaged in your cooking videos, so that's probably where you should be, maybe put out 2 cooking videos for every talking video or something. And you play with just basically what you're given by your audience, and it's, I think, and is it pronounced Gloath?
Yeah.
I think your channel is a testament of that. You said you produce what people tell you to produce, and people are striving for that content because you already kind of have a snowball effect going where you gained a decent amount of subscribers quickly. I'm actually looking at your page right now. So you gained a certain amount of subscribers quickly. So anyone else who's also new to the game of YouTube is like, whoa, this guy's making waves. So they're checking out your videos to see how else they can leverage that for themselves. But also because you're having that success, they're going to follow you. So that's kind of, again, you look at the reasons for why people are watching things, and but yeah, it's I kind of went on a tangent. I don't know.
I know. I at the end of my videos, I'll say the usual comment below, and then I'll say comment what you want me to make my next video on. And I don't know if you ever heard of Soundset. But I made a video on that because someone requested a video on Soundset, so I made it, and it's basically like a hip-hop concert in Minnesota. I mean, I don't live in Minnesota, but they requested it, so I made it, and so far it's been one of my more popular videos, so that's why I just kind of go with what people ask. And
that's actually a really good point, too. It's 'cause the other thing is, you guys may be doing videos at home or about specific, but that's a good example. You've never been there, but you can still do a video on it because you can still research stuff online. But on top of that, anything is a good category for a video if you think about it, because if you can give information to someone about something that they don't know, then they're going to be interested. And I thought about this because I took a trip to Oklahoma to visit my uncle, who's essentially my grandpa. Now, Oklahoma is, there's nothing there. It's just, people say it's just farmland and all that stuff. It's like, there's so much cool stuff there that people just don't realize. And I'm like thinking, like, what if I did a top 10 video about cool places I discovered in Oklahoma? I think, and I'm thinking, like, you do that, and first off, no one has any other content out there like that. So if someone's searching for cool things to do in Oklahoma, they're going to find your video because no one else has done it. But on top of that, you can send that link out to travelok.com, any of the travel sites for the United States, because no one has content on Oklahoma. And then you start building traffic that way, or maybe they like your video so much that they will say, hey, we'll pay you to make another one for this state, or if you're going somewhere. And really, like, it becomes like anything you do in your life that's an experience can be converted into a video that someone can get value out of.
That's so funny you said that, too, because I do a lot of traveling with my main job, and I just started a blog, and everything on the travel, whether or not it's where I stayed, the experience that I had or whatever. Now, it's not Oklahoma, it's populous cities like Chicago and Columbus and Denver, But, I think it'll bring value to somebody. So if you want to send me the Oklahoma video, I'll post it up on my blog.
Well, I haven't done it. I'm saying it's a thought. It's a thought. It's like, something so simple can become something so great. Like, even you going to Chicago, for me, if I'm going somewhere, the first thing I do is I check TripAdvisor, I check all these sites, because I don't know anything about Chicago.
Exactly.
Now, and I read reviews. I would want to read a review on things. Well, I'm lazy. I don't want to read a review. If someone's going to tell me a review, I'm definitely going to tune in, because people would rather you show them than tell them through, like, text. I mean, because if I was reading a review, I could misunderstand someone's stance on something by the tone they're writing something. Like, if you're talking to me about it, I can tell visibly if you're happy or if you're actually, you didn't enjoy the experience. And I think, I think that's, like, something that's really cool, and especially if you're traveling for your job, that's free video topics every time you have to travel for your job, depending on what you want to do it on. And I think that's valuable. And when I took another trip to Texas for a wedding, actually in February, I was thinking the same thing. It's like, there's so much cool stuff here. Everyone thinks that Texas on the west side of the state is just nothing but desert. I was like, it's nothing but desert, but there's a lot of cool stuff in this desert, and no one knows it exists. Even
Texas
just
is a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised. I stayed at Big Bend Park, and like this guy blew me away. He had this, and like this would be a perfect thing, because like the only way you would find out about this is if you went to like Airbnb and you're happening to wanting to stay in Big Bend, which Big Bend's in the middle of nowhere, and there's no service anywhere. So like booking an online hotel through Airbnb or something is already a hassle because you can't get any internet or phone service to do in the first place. But this guy made an Adobe hut out of clay, and he used glass bottles inside the hut to like basically sends blue light in, and it looks awesome. And he has like it's a little hut, has a bed in it, has running water, everything's solar powered. The solar power kicks on the water, the water filter, which filters the rainwater that gives you running water. And on top of that, he even has internet. So he hooked up a satellite internet thing. But all this is solar powered, and it's in the middle of nowhere. And it was super scary driving there. But like, the view was amazing because it's a low night ordnance zone, and you can't. It's like you can see all the stars, and you can't. I mean, it's super still at night. You can hear like a pin drop. But like,
now, give us an idea whereabouts in Texas. I mean, Austin, Dallas, further west.
Far west. So pretty much practically on the border of Mexico. So if you have I don't even know how to describe it. Like if this was Texas and Houston's over here, that means Big Bend is like you go over here and you go up that little bend and then you come down. It's that weird part of Texas where all it's like Big Bend's a park that's like a million acres of land. But something like that, it's like, this is so cool, and so very few people know about this. Like, what if I made a video on that? Like, just, I think that would add so much value to someone's trip to Big Bend. And even, like, on top of that, what if that video made a bunch of success for the guy who was renting out that hut? So he got a ton of traction, a ton of new bookings from it. Maybe then he cuts you a deal or something. It's like, cool. Like, every time someone stays here and they mention your videos, I'll give you $10. And then now you have the ad revenue from your video plus any kind of recurring revenue from this deal for basically just shedding light on this. Because this guy, he built this and all he does is hike. So he runs his he takes care of this land and he hikes, which is a very awesome, humble life. But again, I was like, all this is like untold stories, and people love stories. So.
Oh no, that's great. I don't know what you're doing here, Gloat. What am I? I don't know. I guess we're doing something here. Okay. Okay. The one thing that that's like brings up that great point again about you could go in so many different directions, and how do you settle your mind? And I wanted to ask you, well, 1 second. You had thrown up a video the other day, and then it disappeared, and I think it was about the dress, right? The infamous dress. We did a video on the dress.
My very first video titled "My First Video," and it was just kind of a filler topic that I talked about.
Okay. All right. I was just curious because I knew I saw it. I just didn't know where it went. Okay. So what am I looking at here? Okay. I don't know what I'm looking at, but
What do you see?
So just the other thing that I wanted to say too, and I don't know how many viewers we got today, but I'd like to maybe do this, once every couple of weeks, maybe every 6 weeks. Maybe we can invite some other people. I know there was supposed to be a guy from Canada called Farm Boy REEF. He was going to join us. I don't know if something happened. I didn't hear from him because I spoke to him yesterday, and he was definitely going to be on. But he is in Canada, so I don't know. Maybe time-wise, he didn't realize the time difference. But what I'd like everybody to do who did join is let's all subscribe. Make sure everybody's subscribed to one another. And if anybody's in the audience and wants to put their YouTube channel, if you're a YouTube person, in the link below, this will go out on YouTube. It will actually be a video. It is our first kind of Google Hangout, so I'm not exactly sure. And maybe, Brad, I'll defer to you because you've done this before. Does it just automatically get posted to YouTube, or is it something that you have to go and fix? Like, can I edit it?
So I don't do a whole lot of YouTube Hangouts.
Okay.
It's funny because, like I say, I'm a YouTube consultant, but I don't do. This is one of the new territories that I need to get into. So I'm not sure. I've seen people upload the videos as a whole before. I'm not sure if it offers you a download option or what. So I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, yeah, just curious. Like, if it gives me a link, I'll send the link to you. I'll send the link to Gloath. You guys can also post it, or I could just share it to your channel. Because I don't know if it's just going to be embedded now on Meet Robin T. Because I set up the Hangout. I'm not sure how that's going to actually go.
Gotcha. No, I'm fine with whatever. I think like I said, I posted about it on Twitter and stuff like that. I think this is also a good experiment for all of us.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and next time if one of you guys want to take the practice and set it up and just invite us, that's fine too.
And just so you guys know, yes, I do talk.
I was wondering about that.
I am so far out of my comfort zone right now, it's not even funny.
It's all Greek to him. He doesn't know tweet.
The only thing I know about tweet is it's a bird, and when you put it in the oven, it goes tweet. The cooking is my thing, and I thank you for watching it. And anything I can help you with, you let me know if you need help. But this part of it right here is so far out of my comfort zone, it's not even funny. Just FYI.
He won't be inviting you to any Google Hangouts because he does. He says
I kept telling you my Google don't hang out.
We just retired his flip phone. We had to have a ceremony in the yard to bury it.
Yeah.
I had a flip phone until probably a year and a half ago. I was so against smartphones because like I don't need that stuff. And now that I'm like more immersed in this stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need it. Like, what if someone emails me and I'm nowhere near a computer, and then they think like I didn't like think their response was, deserved response itself. But like I don't know, like I was so in love with just keeping a flip phone forever, to the point where I'm pretty sure they discontinued. I think we got a notice saying like, hey, we're no longer going to service your phone or something like that because it was
they dropped the insurance. That was the first thing that happened.
Oh, well.
But don't let him fool you now. He sits at the kitchen table after dinner every night and plays on YouTube and Facebook and all that other fun stuff.
I go through my cooking channel.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interesting stuff out there.
Oh, yeah.
I found countless recipes on YouTube.
Yep,
And like you were saying earlier, it's awesome because they don't just tell you how to do it, they actually show you. So, I mean, you can watch it right as you're cooking it yourself. And that goes with a lot of things. I mean, I've used YouTube for schoolwork. Like, if professors talking about something and you don't understand it, you can find another professor that does it on YouTube. So
it's always easier. It's always easier that way.
Yeah.
And like it was said before, if you're making somebody else's life a little easier, that's a good thing for me.
Yeah.
Just if I know I'm helping somebody, I'm good. My day's complete.
Exactly.
Right, especially like your cooking stuff. Like, again, you don't know what they're using that cooking for. Maybe they decided to pick your recipe to make for like a special surprise date dinner for someone, or so it's like there's always that thing that's like someone actually took found your thing so helpful that they're actually going to use it for something like that, and that's kind of cool too. And then when you start hearing those stories, it just gives you reassurance.
Like your how to make lava cakes recipe. I haven't made that yet, but I'm going to. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, they came out good. They really came out real good. Unfortunately, between my wife and my son, I didn't get any. But
well, my 16-year-old ate 3 of them. I had 1. So.
Well, of course.
So tonight we're going out to dinner. We're going to do another one of these dinner reviews. People hate to go out to dinner with me. They can't stand it because I am such a critic. But they have to get used to it. That's what I do. That's what I am. So.
Yeah. But again, like that's your talent. Like you're good at that. Like I have a friend that I helped, another channel I helped out with. He's a whiskey connoisseur. He loves whiskey and everything about it. He's tried probably over 2,000 whiskeys, and I helped him do some videos for it. And he writes reviews on whiskeys and stuff like that. Again, just going out and tasting a whiskey and reviewing an establishment, like people love that stuff because you're saving them the hassle of going there and being disappointed, or you're getting them excited about their next place they're going to go check out.
Yep. All comes around.
Yeah, unfortunately, it'll be a little more local. But we're going to even think about it when we do travel, because, I mean, like I said, I travel with my company, but we do take a vacation every now and again, So we think about even just putting that up. Hey, we went to this restaurant here when we were out in California. Check it out, or don't check it out, kind of thing. So we'll do things like that as well.
There's a guy called, I forget his, let me look him up real fast. All he does his daily. All he does is film what he does during the day. I think his name is Dude Like Whoa.
What is it?
Like Hella. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. Yeah. So this guy, his channel name is Dude Like Hella, and all he does is he does like kind of like vlogs, but wherever he's going in the day, whether it be the store or where he moved to, and that's all he does is he uploads these videos, and he makes his living just doing everyday things. And he recently moved to Alaska, and he actually had viral success because he was by a lake in Alaska, and he threw a rock in the water, and it made this crazy whistling noise. And he's like, I've never heard anything like that before. And he like got super excited. He did it again, and like all these places wanted to pick up the video because people were like, why is it doing that? Why is the ice in the water making that weird noise? So they have like all these science websites picking up, the video saying like, this is why that the ice makes that sound. But that's all he does. Like, if someone told me I could make, a couple $1,000 throwing a rock in a lake, I probably would. But it's just neat because the other thing is, if I'm sitting here late at night and I'm bored and I got nothing going on, why not like see the world through someone else's eyes? Why not? It's like I can go on a vacation from my living room and check out the state of Alaska, or check out the restaurants you guys are going to, or
yeah, I'm sorry we didn't do this last year because we actually did take a trip to Alaska, so we could have had all that on video.
Yeah, but it's cool because like it's a gateway. Again, it goes back to the whole thing of keeping making someone happy, because a lot of people might not have that opportunity, but at least you're taking the time. Because the thing is, taking the time to film a video somewhere where you're supposed to be enjoying yourself on vacation, that takes work. Like, because even though you're enjoying yourself, you're keeping track of like, I got to make sure the videos, the quality is good, like all this stuff. I got to get photos and video of this just to make sure I can show people this. Like, if you think about it, you're doing someone else a really big favor who may never get to go there in their life. And your viewers might not even be from the United States. They might be from, third world countries or things where they do have access to internet, but like they're never going to get to visit here. They're never going to get to try these things. So they can at least live vicariously through your video, and that means a lot. And I think that's why a lot of these things that people think are silly is like, why would someone want to watch that? It's like, well, put yourself in someone else's shoes who isn't taking it for granted. So that's I think that's a big thing.
And I try to explain some of that to Rob with the cooking, like that he kind of explains things a little bit more, because he just automatically assumes people know how to just even start boiling the water, and he has to understand that people don't necessarily understand it, or he'll throw a word out like, I'm going to fold in the, this or whatever. I'm like, you have to remember that not everybody understands the term,
Right.
So sometimes that we forget when we start taping.
I'm getting better.
You're getting better. Like he makes his own homemade breadcrumbs. Okay, I made a video of that. I haven't put it up yet. It's kind of like a filler for when we need one. But something silly, or he does horseradish sauce that we would have like with steak or whatever. It sounds funny, but it's a recipe that we enjoy, and I'm going to put it up there.
This doesn't sound weird. What is the correct way to make breadcrumbs? Because I tried making, and that's a weird question, but like my girlfriend and I were cooking one time. We were making buffalo mac and cheese, and we got in this almost like an argument over, like, because I was like, well, in my eyes, since we don't have bread that's, I don't even know how to do it, like either cooked or stale or whatever it is, like, oh, let's just take croutons and take a cheese grater and a bowl. Like, this is a horrible idea, but I don't know why I even suggested it.
Especially if they're seasoned croutons.
Right. I wasn't thinking. I was like, it didn't make any sense. But again, I only know
There's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can take bread, put put it on a cookie sheet into a 200 oven just to get the moisture out of it, and it'll get hard. Or when you get a loaf of bread home, take the ends off, take the ends out, rip them up, throw them on a tray, and just let them sit out, and they'll get hard. So there's a couple of different ways you could go with it.
And believe me, they don't get moldy. It's when you leave them in the bag that bread gets moldy. So if you actually leave the bread to get at the air, that's what makes them, you know, not go moldy but go hard.
Or like I said, if you could throw them in the 200 oven and the moisture will just come right out of them and they'll get hard. Then you can, if you have a processor, you can put them into a processor. If you don't, you can put them into a Ziploc and just beat them up.
Yeah, that was the idea too. It was like, let's put these croutons.
Take the bottom of if you throw them in a Ziploc, take the bottom of a pot and just beat them that way.
Yeah.
Simple. You don't need the processor.
All right, so I'm going to put that breadcrumb video up now.
Yeah.
And then season them as you want them. If you want them, you know, if you're making Italian and you want to season them, you season. I don't season mine unless I want them seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
Huh,
Yeah, then you put your parsley and oregano and whatever you want with that particular meal.
But I mean, this is an interesting contrast right here, because both me and Gloath, like we lack cooking skills, and this is because, like, you know, I think as we went through school, they started putting less emphasis on the home economics and stuff like that. With like, so like
if it came out with your ramen noodle.
No, unless, like, I'm trying to think of, like, you know, obviously I learned through baking with my parents that, like, you know, when they make cookies and stuff, they put bread in with the cookies to keep the cookies from getting, I think it's hard.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else from my high school class would probably know that, and that's really silly because, like, I mean, to me it's common knowledge, but like none of us have any cooking experience or any, like, they don't teach you about anything useful, like nothing about, you know, finances or taxes or home mortgages and like none of that stuff. Like,
I've been fighting that battle for years. I've been fighting that battle for years. I actually am in the mortgage business 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to talk about my job outs on YouTube because I don't want it. But I've been in mortgages for 26 years, and quite honestly, that was the one thing. People who screwed up their credit, and because they never were taught how to build credit, how to pay bills, how that's so important, and just the underlying process of credit itself. Like, they don't teach a class like that in school, and that's ridiculous. I didn't even know how to balance a checkbook, other than my father had to show me how to do that at some point in my life.
Yeah,
so that's really important.
I was lucky because, like, again, like, I didn't know any of that stuff, but, you know, my mom worked in banks. You know, and when we were born, she actually got us all credit cards. And she would make small purchases every month. This is before I even, like, I mean, up until, like, I was, like, 13 or something like that. When I was 13, I already had perfect credit because it was 13 years of constant payments on time and meeting, you know, those expectations. And, like, I would never even know to do that, let alone, like, I see people my age who have never done anything wrong, but they don't have any credit built up. They can't even get approved for renting an apartment or approved for anything.
He was one of those people.
Because I paid everything in cash, everything. For the car, it was cash.
Right.
So I thought I was doing the greatest thing ever. Turns out I was
went to buy his first home and he had no credit.
Yeah, and even though you're being more responsible than anyone else out there, they flag you for that. It's like, what? No, like I've always been on time with payments and all that stuff. It's like, what do you mean? Like, it's horrible. Or like, how do you, like, someone goes to get, you know, a credit card? I had this with my friends. His identity was stolen. He never even knew. It was stolen when he was young. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing they can do about it. There's nothing he can, you know, his credit is, like, indefinitely bad. No one will listen to you if you have bad credit either. So it's like an impossible hole to dig yourself out of. But again, like, all this stuff, it wasn't taught in school. I mean,
yeah. Hey, you know, there's another thought for a video.
Oh, he already gave me one. He already gave me tricks in the kitchen.
Tricks.
Yeah.
Run a series called "Things They Should Be Teaching in School" or "Things I Wish They Taught in School." Or I don't know.
All right. Yeah. Gloath is taking all this in because he's still trying to decide which direction his channel's going to go in.
Like I said, whatever they want, whatever they want.
Yeah.
And I think, like, back to that, though, but when I made my sound set video, I don't know how many comments I got, but there was plenty of people that were like, oh, man, I wish I could go. Like, they didn't live in Minnesota either, but when you're talking about stuff that interests people, like, they knew they weren't going to be able to go, but it was really interesting to them, and so they were like, oh, I wish I could go. That sounds awesome.
And what is that? I'm sorry, it's Greek to me. Is that a group or a type of music?
No, it's like a big concert. It's the whole weekend. There's 40 different artists that are playing. It's hip hop music.
Oh, it's like I would know it more. What's the one here? Oh my God. Not Lollapalooza. Oh my God, I'm really showing my age.
Yeah, Woodstock. How's that?
Yeah, no, don't go there.
Well, they referred to it on the website as the Woodstock of hip hop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's funny. Okay, so it's hip hop. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, totally different music genres here in this house. You've got a country guy, and you've got a.
I'm not just country.
All right, country rock. And me, I grew up kind of like in the, for lack of a better word, stave diving and moshing era with, Depeche Mode and, early days of YouTube and, U2, and definitely not my music is not rap or that stuff. Anyway.
All right.
All right. Well, guys, this was great. Don't know. I think we might have had 2 additional or 3 additional people dial up, which is okay. But if you did join, please, guys, if you are a YouTube channel and you want to leave your link below, we're just trying to help one another out by subscribing to everybody's channel, trying to get some, views and some subscribers to our list. And, of course, we want you to dial in. We're Robin T.
Madman in the van. All right. If there's anything you need as far as the cooking end of it goes, just let me know, and I'll help you the best way I can.
And we always say at the end of our video, if there's anything you want to see us cooking for suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
More molten chocolate cakes, I know. All right, guys.
I real fast. I'm always scared to make desserts or have someone make me desserts because now that I do live by myself, I know that if there's desserts in the house, only one person can eat them, and that's me, and it's very dangerous. So yeah. I will tune in for any video that does not have to do with desserts. I'm just saying.
Well, then it's a good thing that only 2 out of our 50 are desserts. Yeah. But thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, guys. Cool. I really enjoyed this.
You could make a cake and make friends. Go out and just give it to some of the people.
That's true.
See, that's what I'm trying to talk him into. Like, I'm trying to entice our viewers to subscribe, and we're thinking like a 300 subscriber, peanut butter pie giveaway or something. He makes the best peanut butter pie.
Well, there's a guy who wanted to make potato salad, and he got like a couple $1,000 off of Kickstarter.
There you go.
Which is absurd. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh my gosh. It was a guy from Columbus, Ohio, made a Kickstarter page saying, I want to make some potato salad. And people just wanted to see an absurd amount of money associated with this. So everyone started pledging like $1. And I think it got up to like $60,000.
Wow.
It's so stupid, but it's just absurd. But I mean, the thing is, like, technically that could happen to anything online. It's all luck.
Right. That's the other thing I wanted to ask. And I'm sorry, Gloath had to drop. He had to go. But just really quick, do you use the donation tab in your videos?
No, I think it's the same thing. Like, for me, I want to have my subscribers there for the content, because right now, like, for me, it's not, the money is not important right now. Like, obviously, I would like to be compensated later down the line because I think everyone wants to do because you're putting your hard-earned, you're
Time.
putting hours of your day in. It's like a job. It's like any other job. But I think I would, once I got a foundation, because I don't think I have enough people to start doing that with. I feel like once I get a solid base of people that are actually passionate about what I do, then maybe I'll do that. Because part of why I want to do also YouTube is I want to write a book. I'm writing a book right now, so it's a fantasy novel. But the people that would like that book would probably also like my YouTube content because it's pretty nerdy stuff. I'm a pretty nerdy guy. But in that saying, it's would it make more sense in terms of order of how I do things to write the book? Or I'm sorry, do YouTube first, build an audience, and then I can say, hey guys, I'm writing a book. I just here's some little snippets from it. Let me know what you think. Because otherwise, I'm writing a book and then trying to pitch it out to somewhere where I have no base and no audience and no voice. Whereas it makes more sense to do them in the opposite order, so that maybe I can have success on both ends. So I think the same thing goes for donations. Make sure you build a trust and make sure you build a fan base that is willing to do that. Because right now I think we're all in the stage where we're trying to, one, find the content that we want to produce, but two, also build our fan bases so that I don't think, in my eyes, I would remove any distractions from people that would make them not want to watch my video. So if I already have a low amount of views on a video, I wouldn't want to put an ad on it, how they have precursor ads, so it shows 15 seconds of an ad before a video, and people you can skip the ad and go to your video.
Right.
I wouldn't even put those on there. I wouldn't even consider it because I'm already a little guy on YouTube, and I'm asking someone to take time out of their day, and I'm already having trouble with retention and people watching my videos. I don't want to add another element that's going to dissuade someone from watching my video. So that's why people can give you mixed answers on that. My personal belief is you hold off on that stuff because you also don't want that to be the reason people to see that's the reason why you're doing it. You're
right.
doing it. It's fun. It's what you love, and you hope to grow it into something that can support you. But
yeah, I guess I sway both ways, back and forth on that, and I've listened to so many different people. Do this, do that. I was following in the belief that somebody had said, well, put your video out there first. Once it's up, 30 days or so, that's not a video that everybody's going to go to first, right? They're going to go to your new video that you just posted. So if that one doesn't have the ad, but then they're interested in more of your content, then that's okay if that video is up 30 days.
That's actually a good strategy. I didn't think of that. No, I would actually, yeah, that's actually pretty good advice. Because that's another thing. It's obviously people are always putting out new content, but any content you have out there is still up there, and you're still going to get views on that stuff over time. And so yeah, no, that's actually, whoever told you that, that's a good advice.
Well, that either came from video creators, Tim Schmoyer or DarylEves.com, one of them or somebody who spoke on the channel or whatever, I don't remember, because those are the two guys that work for YouTube. They are YouTube creators. They actually are awesome, both of them. A lot of their content I like. So I've been kind of how to do this. I'm still learning how to do annotations, and now all of a sudden annotations are gone. Now it's these
cards.
Cards, right? So I think I have one video with cards up on it. I couldn't even figure out how to get the subscribe button up.
The thing about the cards is they barely work. So
Oh really?
They shouldn't have launched them. They're you don't have enough control for anyone to even want to use them for certain things, because you can't you have a time on, but you can't set a duration for a card. You can't set all these things that people would want. So I really think they have a long way to go in terms of getting those to the point where if they could ever replace annotations. But I don't know. The benefit to them is they work on mobile devices. Annotations do not work on mobile devices.
That's what was my understanding. But I still have a problem even on my laptop. If I put an annotation up, I don't see the subscribe button at the end. So I must be doing something wrong. I have to figure it out. So I figured, well, maybe I'll just make a card that says subscribe, but you really can't do that because your card is a video. So I was trying to figure out how the heck do I make it work.
So this is what people do. So I mean, you know, they film their video and they bring it into a video editing program so they can cut out anything they don't want in the video. But also at the end, what they do is they create. Think of it as like, let's say, this is just a social media card. But if you look at this. They would create an image like this.
Okay.
And they put it at the end of their video. So just imagine over here it says subscribe. So they will write out subscribe. And what they do is now, so if I was watching that video on my laptop before I upload it to YouTube, it would still have the screen that still says subscribe at the end. And what they do is when they upload that to YouTube, what they do is they go to that part where it says subscribe and they draw an invisible box over their icon for subscribe. So they're actually putting the image of the subscribe button within the video file, and they're drawing an invisible box over it, because basically those boxes you can make them clickable regions. So like anywhere, if they are anywhere in that box, they can click on it and it will do that. So think of it as like if you're making like a poster or something, it's the same thing. You put all the relevant information that you want on that poster, and you put that image at the end of your video, but you have to render it out, or you have to create it as a video file. So the whole thing has to be one continuous video file, and then they're just
even if I post a picture at the end of my video of just the finished, like it's a snapshot of like Rob's completed dish or something like that. I do all my editing and everything on my computer. I know some people use YouTube. I don't like
I wouldn't
edit on YouTube. I have I don't know, Elements 13, whatever it is.
Okay.
So that's what I use, and I'm still learning because, you know, I'm self-taught even when it comes to an Excel spreadsheet. I've never taken any of these kind of classes, so I'm still learning. But I was under the understanding that if you put an end card like you're talking about at the end of the video, that you can only put one link. I'm wondering how do these guys get like 4 of their videos up on the last? Like, I'll use this Shay Tarts as an example, okay? If you look at his video, I don't know if it's his front card or his end card, he's got, click on this to see 5 years of videos. How the heck do they do that?
So same thing. Let me draw you let me see if I can draw you a diagram real fast, because this is what I do in my videos. If you look at the end of my videos, there is a, let me get a pen real fast.
Okay, no problem.
Actually, this might work. This is a Sharpie. Okay, so I started writing subscribe, I ran out of room. So if you look at this, this says subscribe right here.
Right.
So these 2 boxes over here, these are 2 videos, 2 of your past videos you did.
Right.
So what they're doing is, in the video editing program that they're using, they're putting an image in the background. So if you think of it as layers, so like, this will be the background image. So they'll put this first, and then they'll put, let's say this is your video. They'll put the image down, then they'll put the video in front of it. Now, if you put a video in front of a video, it still plays the video. So they're using something you might not be able to do that in Elements, but they're using a program called After Effects in Premiere.
Well,
Premiere Pro.
Premiere, I can do layers. Like that's how I do like my front card, or it's not even the front card. I don't put it in the video per se. It's just the thumbnail that I upload. When I make my thumbnail, if I take a picture of Rob's food, I can, you know, my first layer is just the background, you know, and then I put the second layer up as the food, and then I kind of circle just, you know, and haze it in, and then a third layer is me typing, Robin tea in the kitchen, chicken noodle soup, or whatever it's going to be. So that's how I do my layers, but that's in Premiere Photoshop. That's in just regular what I have in Elements 13 for Photoshop.
So you're using Photoshop to make your image then, right? And it's 3 layers?
Yes.
Think of it the same way. So like, this is the way I would explain it. And I don't know, I never used the program that you mentioned, the Elements. Think of it like this. So in Photoshop, you put a background image, and then you put text over top of it. So in your video editor, you would put a background image, and then do you get layers in Elements?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you would do is, if you import your video, and I'm not sure how it works, but like what I would do is I would put my background image down, whatever I want my background to be. So mine is, it's like just a white gradient, kind of like, and then I have my logo.
Yeah, I use my gray denim as my background always.
And then I put my text for the subscribe thing, and then I import the last video I upload to YouTube, so the video file for it. Then I drag that down on top of it. And then what you get to do is you take the scale, which is the size of it, and you shrink it down, and then you move it to a corner. So what you're seeing on their videos is like, again, they're not doing that on YouTube. That's in the video file itself. So those small little thumbnails of videos, they're actually creating those in the video file. So if you had the video on your computer, not on YouTube, and watched it, those would still be there. And then what they're doing is they're drawing invisible boxes or the clickable boxes over those, and that's what makes them clickable. And they can just select the link to go to that video.
Okay. Now, tell me if I'm wrong on the subscribe button. Does it actually let them subscribe? Because a lot of times I've seen where somebody has a subscribe button, and if you click on it, it just takes you to their front page where the button itself is. It doesn't actually subscribe you.
So they did away with, they had to do it this way. So when you click on, so even if you make a subscribe link and you click on it, it takes you to their channel homepage and then brings up a window saying, do you want to confirm subscription? And they can say yes or no. They did that because people were using misleading tactics to get subscribers, saying like, "Hey, check out my latest video," and they would put the subscribe link on the video and not the actual video itself, and they were getting subscribers that way and making people angry. So they put a confirmed thing on there to get rid of people using shady tactics to get more subscribers.
Okay. Is that just recently they changed that? It seems like that just happened not too long ago. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think it's it was a while ago they did that, because I remember it being a big deal with a lot of channels were doing it, or people would make an annotation that was the entire size of the video, so if you clicked anywhere in the video, it would subscribe you to their channel. People were really trying to think of anything they could to get subscribers, so they had to get rid of a lot of these tactics because they were just, I don't know, they weren't really honest, and they weren't really, it's not about like if you produce good content and it is useful to people, then they will subscribe naturally. You don't need to coax them into subscribing.
Right.
That's what I wanted to
I'm a little bit, hesitant at Gloth, and he knows this. Gloth, I keep saying his name wrong. But like, is his tactic good or not good? Like, I do it, but I don't know if it's going to work for us at the end, because are these people really going to be engaged viewers when all said and done? If we all subscribe to one another, that's great, but at the end of the day, who's really going to be? I don't know that Brad is going to be the Meet Robin T subscriber, and that's fine, because I go on Facebook, it has all these groups that you can join, sub for sub, and do all this, and I've done a little bit of that to see what kind of outcome that comes. But, people land up then, 3 days later they unsubscribe to you. Yeah. Hope you don't catch that they unsubscribed. And I don't. If I've subscribed and I've promised to subscribe to anybody, I keep it. I keep it. I will be honest with people, especially somebody doing gaming like yourselves. I'm not a gamer. So
right.
expect me to be engaged in your gaming videos unless you're putting Tony Hawk. I'm going to tell you now, probably not going to watch your gaming videos. If you do any kind of the other stuff you were talking about, like you know, your travel and stuff like that, I'd be interested in that. And
right.
I just want to be honest with people because I don't want people just subbing my channel just to be a hanger, you know, there and not give me any feedback or.
I wouldn't. I would not use any sub for sub things at all because it doesn't help you in the long run because those aren't real people who are following you for the right reasons. They're following you because it's not even about you. It's because they want something in return. They're not, you know, they're not selfless. They're like, I'm doing this for a specific reason because I know she's going to do it back. And it's not going to help you because they're not going to watch your videos. They just want, all they're worried about is increasing their own numbers. That's why, like, you know, I only have 20 subscribers, but I've never even bothered to try to do that because, yeah, I know the 20 subscribers that I have are watching my stuff because they subscribed on their own. I didn't ask them to. And that's another thing too. Is like I feel weird sometimes asking people to subscribe. Like sometimes I say, like, you know, you have YouTubers say, don't forget to subscribe, but really, I think if they're engaged, they would subscribe anyways. So I sometimes battle that myself because yeah, it just doesn't do you any good if you're asking someone to subscribe to you who really isn't part of your audience and someone who wouldn't naturally watch your video anyways. Because also that's misleading to anyone who would want to partner with you if someone ever wanted to do like something with branding. So like they know your audience is, you know, older generation who might like cooking or something like that. Well, if your audience is full of people who are just squatters for other subscribers, then you're not being true, and they might not even see the results that they like from partnering with you.
Right. Yeah, and that's where I'm torn with that because I will tell you, though, however, since we did do a little bit of that, and I got additional subscribers, I have got some people who are engaged, and it's the first time we're actually getting comments on our videos, and you know, we went weeks without a comment, like other than my son, my older son, yelling at his father about football or something because we did something on the football, but Rex Ryan. Gloath would understand that because he just went to the Buffalo Bills, and that's where Gloath lives. But you know, other than my son commenting on some of the videos, you know, oh, and we had one hater in the beginning, you know, who my son was going back and forth with.
So let me explain.
Something about retarded or something, and my son's answering him, and I'm like, please don't give this guy the time of day. Don't respond. Exactly. So he didn't understand that. He was just upset people were saying things to us. But you know what? My husband loves haters. Bring them on.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing is like, the easiest way to deal with. I mean, you're gonna make haters more and more mad by ignoring them, and that that's them. That's their decision to get mad or get angry at your thing. It has nothing to do with you. Mm-hmm. For every hater, there's gonna be 5 people that like your thing. So why even give the haters any attention?
Right.
Same. I mean, another thing you can do is, you know, do you submit your videos anywhere? Do you send them out to, you know, something I used? I got onto Reddit. There's a YouTuber group that's actually kind of cool because everyone there is producing videos, and the way is you can submit a video for review, but you have to review 2 other videos. But everyone there gives really good feedback and offers awesome suggestions, and like, I actually really like it a lot. And they run a tight ship there too. They're not looking for people to come in and just spam links to their videos and stuff. It's really kind of a cool community. But furthermore, like submitting your videos to blogs or any other sites that might find it relevant. I recently did a video on freebooting, which is freebooting is.
I know what it is because, believe it or not, both Daryl Eves and Tim Schmoyer on Video Creators both spoke about it. Because, again, they work for YouTube, too, so that was something that they were very familiar with. So, yeah, it's a shame because, according to Tim, I think he said it took, like, you know, $4,000 out of somebody's pocket, you know, just by sharing that video on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. And there's no punishment for it. But the thing... actually, I'm trying to remember why I brought that up. I'm drawing a blank.
Well, you were talking about Reddit. I'm trying to. Is it Reddit?
Oh, Reddit. Yeah, Reddit. Oh, yeah, I remember. So I did a video on freebooting, and I submitted it. I sent basically you go to these different sites that cover things, and I sent them all emails saying, "Hey, I just produced this video. I think it's really important to share this message. Hope you could take a look at it. Let me know your thoughts. If you think it's beneficial in any way, you guys can use it for your website. Obviously, I'm a small guy on YouTube. I don't have a lot of voice, but this is a very important issue." And you do that, and most of the time they don't respond because obviously they get flooded with requests. But I actually had a website pick it up. And that gave me probably about 170 views, which I only have 20 subscribers, so like that's a lot in terms of if someone doesn't know how to discover my videos. And I got tons of comments too. Like same with you. I had never gotten a comment. I hadn't gotten a comment in like 3 years. Mind you, I took a 3-year break, but any of the new videos where I was putting my heart and soul into, I was like, oh, I worked really hard on these. I'm not getting any comments. So then I do a vlog talking about freebooting, and I get tons of comments. I'm like, it's funny how that works. This is like the least amount of effort I put into a video, and people want to talk about it. But that got me thinking too. Is like, well, maybe I need to start thinking about videos that way. Maybe I need. It's not just about producing videos for the sake of producing. It's thinking about what someone will want to watch, what someone wants to discuss. Like that's an issue that affects all people who produce online content. You don't even have to be a YouTuber. You could be an artist or a photographer, because it happens with their images too. So like, it empowers people to talk about it. So I think that seeing the reaction I got from this video and knowing I got like 15 or 16 comments, which is unheard of. Like at most, I think I got 1 before. Really, maybe might change the way I do videos, or how I do something, just because I'm like, it's all experimentation, and like
it is.
It might work.
It's hit or miss to me. I mean, everything we do. I mean, you talked about that. Now, we did the review on the restaurant a couple of weeks ago, and I shared it to like the town we live in's page. Like they have a Facebook page, right? So I put it up there, and they actually also had something for Long Island. They had a Long Island restaurant review page group, right? So I shared it to both those groups, and it was the most views and the most comments that I got when I did it specifically to a target audience like that. So I think, that's ways that we have to figure out what the target audience is and what's going to work best. And that's why I still feel that you got to find your niche. You have to kind of be focused. If we're going to stick to cooking, maybe we get off the couch, or if we stay on the couch, maybe it's geared towards cooking as well. I don't know. It's.
Well, the way I look at it is, I think a lot of channels can be successful because the cooking thing. So you have an intimate topic because cooking is kind of close. So with your husband, it's kind of a close experience with him. What people like about a lot of YouTube things so like me, I do gaming videos. A gaming video might not make someone feel close to me, like they can like, I like this guy or something like that. But by taking the time and talking in front of the camera, I'm a person. I'm vulnerable. I'm real. I'm not just a voice on a video or something. And I think people like that because they can recognize you as a human being, and they know that you're recognizing them as people that are there because you are talking directly to them, and there's no topic to the video other than, hey, we're just saying hi. So I think it's important. I wouldn't abandon both. I would definitely keep. I think your cooking videos would probably get more views because, sitting on the couch and talking. Like I don't know how someone would find that in terms of searching, but like cooking, obviously, if they're thinking of something they want to, how to cook with. And also another thing is like definitely you want to look into how to rank your videos on YouTube. That's another big one. It's like just looking, they're putting, so your titles, your descriptions, and your all that stuff is very important.
Well, it's funny you said titles because we had a video that, like, to us went viral, 6,000 views or something, and I think it had to do with just the way I titled the video because I included like it was a couch video, but I included like in the title, oh my God, American Idol, right? Because it was something we talked about American Idol. I put American Idol, WLIR, which was a popular Long Island radio station when I was growing up. So I know all my friends on Facebook, definitely check that out. And I have 2,100 friends on Facebook, right? So, like, those are ways that sometimes I think about when it comes to the title. How am I going to, because in the beginning I was writing Meet Robin T or Robin T on the Couch. Who the hell is searching for that,
Right.
So I went back and changed some of the titles and figured out this is what I have to do. And then with some of the other ones, I just kept sharing them to death on Facebook.
Oh wow, so I actually had no idea. I'm looking at your videos now. Yeah, I had no idea you had videos that had like 6,000 views.
Yeah.
So so something to keep in mind is the words that are the first words you type out in your title are the most prominent. So if American Idol is your first 2 words in your title, it's going to rank higher for American Idol. Same thing goes for your description. If your first 2 words in your description is American Idol, it's going to rank higher for American Idol. So really, like, for titles, like, the words as you go from left to right become less important. So the ones on the left are more important. Same would go for your description. The ones that are at top left of the description box are more important than anything after that, because if you search for a video on YouTube, the first 2 lines of the description is all that shows up.
Right.
If you think about it, because then it goes into turns to the ellipse, like ... because it's not going to show your whole description. And so that's why it's super important, because YouTube's obviously it's the second biggest search engine in the world next to Google, and it's owned by Google. So, but by having those keywords also at the beginning of that tag, or before that description, you're also boosting your presence for that specific phrase.
Yeah. Well, speaking of boost, that was a big mistake I made on Facebook too, because Facebook's gotten really clever too about hiding businesses and pages and videos. And I went and boosted. That's why some of them do have 6,000 views as well. I went and boosted some of those posts on our, page in Meet Robin T on Facebook, and hundreds of dollars later, I got 6,000 views. Well, whoop-de-doo, I got not one comment on some of them.
Yeah.
So I'll never do that again.
Well, the more so the issue is that Facebook doesn't want you to share YouTube videos. They want to because when they have a Facebook video, they make money off it. So by putting a YouTube video up there, it's like, why? I'd rather show my own stuff. So looks like we got another person in the chat.
Yes. I don't know if they realize they're in it. They might have just grabbed that link, that other link that I put out there. But so one other thing, and then I'll let you go. You were talking before about the Facebook videos and where it's going to go and what it's going to be. That's a big thing if they decide to at least do any monetization on those for people. That's definitely going to be huge. But there's a new app coming out, and I don't know if you've heard about it, but also a new platform, and they're going to let people self-monetize. So basically, it's SwankyBox is doing his video, and he's advertising, let's say, one that's still available. I don't even know if the videos that you play are even available in the common day market, but let's just say you're promoting a video, and if somebody buys that video, you're actually going to get paid commission on the video sales. So what they're trying to promote now is that they want to have you posting pictures to their website of maybe you doing your gaming, or you traveling to a place, or even just wearing a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses, and it says, hey, check out the great deal I got on these Ray-Ban sunglasses, because you find the best price, and you post that link there, and if they go to that link and they buy those sunglasses, you're actually going to get paid for it. So I think it's an awesome idea. So I'm following that. It's still in beta, and it's only in beta right now, available to the founders of the company, so I can't get in on the beta test, but I'm trying to get in on the next wave.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes. That might be,
I mean, even just Facebook doing it is a game changer, because I mean, if you think of how fast Facebook videos get views in terms of it's all on one platform. Like the share, it's out of this world. Saying you could post one video on YouTube, then post on Facebook and get 10, 20, 30 times the amount of views because it's all one platform. Because people never really accepted Google Plus. I mean, unfortunately, but I think it's also YouTube's fault for forcing people to get accounts.
Yeah.
So they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that one. But I would be really interested because like that was a whole big new spin on this freebooting thing because it's like, well, I could actually be producing content for YouTube, or I'm sorry, for Facebook, but I mean, it's also going to, the legal stipulations with all the people trying to monetize content that isn't theirs, it's going to be a big mess. But I mean, I think it's needed for change because like right now the policies that have in place are just not good at all.
No, and that's when you put a video like I do if I put my YouTube video or even on my home page, my regular home page, nobody saw it. There's not one like. I have 2,100 friends. Not one person liked the video. Come on, really? Yeah. Like it's just weird. So they definitely hide that stuff. I think they play games. I don't think they show wolf posts that you put out there. I don't know. I don't know. But they got to figure something out because people are going to realize, that there's other ways to make money.
Wait, 1 second, I got to send a...
No problem. I'm going to let you go anyway. God, we're on here for almost 2 hours.
Well, I mean, it's cool still to connect with like-minded people. I got to get going for dinner. We're going out to, me and my girlfriend are going out to meet... one of her friends for dinner.
Yeah, we're taking my mom out for her birthday tonight, so it's going to be a twofold. It's going to be, we're going to review another restaurant, and we're going to treat mom to her birthday dinner. So.
Cool. Well, I'm glad. Thank you so much for putting this on. I know we may have not gotten as many people as we'd hope, but I think if we keep doing this and as we go on, I think everyone can only benefit from other people's experiences. Yeah.
And I think, too, what we'll do is next month or whenever we decide to do it again, I'm traveling for like the next 4 out of 5 weeks with my job, so maybe we might have to wait for 6 weeks. And it goes so fast. I can't even believe how fast time goes these days. But maybe what we could do is put it out. Like I can set this up almost like a week ahead of time so that we can like share the link and put it out even in the end card of your video. Hey, join me on my Google, Hangout on Saturday. And meet some new YouTubers. And we could kind of steer this either in one direction or the other. Do we want it to go to our subscribers? Or if I share it with my subscribers and you share it with yours, well, maybe they'll find you interesting because now I have a few gaming subscribers on my channel that I know probably aren't watching my videos, but they might want to watch yours, We could do it that way, or we could just kind of do a little bit of what we kind of did here, a little food for thought.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I think it's...
What's working, what's not working.
Yeah, and talk about the growth you've had, and maybe other people in the chat can have suggestions and stuff like that. So
you're going to take me up on the wait 30 days, and then you're going to monetize.
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty interesting idea. I would have to be careful with some of my content because I still need to... Mine plays more into copyrights because technically the games are owned copyright entities, so I have to look into that kind of stuff. A lot of it's fair falls underneath fair use, but I think I'll have to play with it a little bit. But,
have you gotten any content strikes? I know a lot of gamers tend to get content strikes now.
No, because I don't put monetization on any of them. But I think if I did, I think I would be okay. I think
you can always experiment with one that's been up there for a while. Just throw it on there and see what happens. Maybe one that you're not so thrilled with or something. Just kind of play with that. Because that's why I heard a lot of gamers join these networks because of that.
Yeah.
But I'm under the understanding just not a good way to go. And I've already had 2 networks contact me, and
Which networks?
I'd have to look in my inbox again.
like a multi-channel YouTube network kind of thing?
Yeah. Let me just take a look here. Because I know. One of them is following me on Twitter. Purity Network is one.
Gotcha. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know my girlfriend was driving over here to pick me up. She's actually
Oh my
waiting.
God, go! Yeah, absolutely. This has been great, though. No problem. But I just would never consider going with a network. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but maybe we could talk about that more next time.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, I got to split, but thank you very much for having me.
No problem. Pleasure meeting you, Brad. All right, talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe below. Last plug there for us. Have a great day. All right, guys, so that was our very first Google Hangout. Thank you if you joined today. We appreciate it. Remember, if you are a YouTuber and you'd like to leave your link below, we'll be happy to check your channel out. And we hope you do the same for us. We'll get it out there a little sooner next time. And if anybody is a YouTuber and would like to join us next time or host one of these and invite us, we'd be glad to do that as well. So keep that in mind. All right, so this is T from Meet Robin T, and we'll see you on the inside.